So this is the third part of things that I've seen in China that are a bit different. Now, I spoke about grandparents moving into the home, right? Let's talk about even getting married itself. What happens when people get married? So, the general agreement, I don't know if it's a written rule, but I don't think it's a written rule, but I think it's just culture. It's just what society has come to accept. For a man to get married, he needs to have a house and a car first. That's why you find that some men take very long before they settle down because they're also trying to make sure that they are financially stable first. They have a house, they have a car before they go and bring somebody's daughter into their life. And also because their parents will have to move in, remember? So they need a proper home. So some parents, old people, are still working because they had to help their son buy a house, buy a car, and be financially stable for him to get married. Now they also don't have anything left to their name. So sometimes they just work and work and work and work. So a man, I think this is just society. I don't think it's a law. A man must have a house and a car and a proper job or a proper business running before he gets married. Now, what happens when they get married? The man has to pay a bride price to the girl's family. Bride price is steep in China. It's steep. This is why you find most of these men that are not financially stable going out of China to find wives. Because here, to marry a Chinese woman, you need to be financially stable and solid. It's just society. It's not a law. It's not a rule. Okay? Also because the girls are now like very educated and financially independent, they do not want to settle. So bride price is quite steep. We are looking at 200,000 yuan. So it's about 200,000. And if it's less, it can't be less than 100,000. That is the bride price, right? 100,000 yuan. That is the bride price. Now, what happens with the bride price? Somebody might want to know. I recently read an article where a girl sued her parents for bride price because her husband paid was it 180,000 yuan as bride price. That when she moved to her husband's house, they were now struggling financially. They didn't have any money because all the money had gone to her parents' house and they had a minimalistic wedding. They didn't have like a wedding banquet, like where they are feasting and they're feeding all these people. No, it was a very minimalistic wedding. So they didn't use that money. It is expected that when you receive the bride price, you use that money to prepare for the wedding. One, two, you use that money to gift your daughter back so that she can have something to start her married life with. But her parents did not do that. So she took them to court and she sued their pants off. Yes, she did. And then the dad was saying, no, we cannot give her back. It is the law that we should receive a bride price. But then the judge was also quick to remind the dad that there's been an amendment in that law. And this amendment says that when you receive the bride price, you should use it for wedding. And you should also gift your daughter so that she has something to take back to her in-laws so that they can start their life together. But you didn't do any of that. So you need to give her back a portion of that bride price. I think she was awarded something like 80,000. She actually wanted 50% of that. I think she was awarded like 80,000 RMB that she should be given back. So yeah, bride price is steep, but they don't get to keep all the money. They are supposed to use it for the wedding and they're supposed to gift their daughter back some of the money so that she can take it to her new home. Okay, that is bride price. And if you don't have that kind of money, there's a good chance that you will not get married or you will go to other countries and find a wife for way less than that. Okay. Now, the other thing that I spoke about, I think I mentioned that in my video, one of my videos, that when I got a job in China, everything was just moving so fast and I couldn't understand. And people were telling me that it's a scam. Everything can't move this fast. But guess what? Everything moves fast in China. The people walk fast. The process of coming up with new policies is fast. And when those policies have been formulated and they've been approved, the execution is fast. Everything is fast. Everything just happens. Everything is fast in China. So it's not surprising that you actually get a job today and they tell you come tomorrow, and then the other day, the day after tomorrow, you're already working. Everything moves very fast. I remember when we started getting the vaccine for the COVID-19, I went to the hospital to do my first dose, and I was shocked. There was a huge pile of paperwork that we had to fill in, and those papers were already on site. They were already there on site. Everything was already there with the provincial logo and everything. Everything was set. So like everything just moves very fast in this country. You really have to try and keep pace. You have to to be alert in order for you to be able to stay up to date. All right. The other thing that I also noticed in China, okay, this is what happens when you come into China. You have to register with the local police station of wherever you are. If you're coming into China for business and you're staying in a hotel, remember when you check into the hotel, they take a picture of they scan your passport, your visa and everything. They will register for you at the local police station. You don't have to be bothered. But if you're coming and you're going into somebody's home, within the next 24 hours, you need to present yourself at your local police station and register. This is where I am staying. Then they'll take a copy of your passport and take a copy of your visa, and they'll give you what they call temporary registration certificate. So they will do a document for you. You sign it, they stamp it, and they give it to you. That is how it works here. Within the first 24 hours of your arrival in the country, you need to present yourself to the police station. If you change homes, now I've been living in Highfields, now I'm moving to Budiriro, I must present myself to the local police station and register. This is where I now live. If I wake up tomorrow and I decide I'm going to Mount Pleasant, I must present myself at the local police station and register that this is where I now live. It's just the way it is. You always have to present yourself at your local police station. And even if I travel from my current city, say to Beijing, I'm visiting friends for the next 2-3 days, I must present myself to the police station. This is where I am now. I'm visiting my friends here. So this is the residence address. I will actually have to go with your host. Then they'll say, okay, we have got a guest over here. This is their passport and everything. And they register you. Okay. I don't know if it happens with the local people that if they visit another district or if they visit another city for a couple of days, they need to register with the police station. I don't know if that also applies to them. But what I know is during the COVID-19, even the locals, when they went to a new place, they had to register. Even the locals, when they travel from Wuhan to Beijing, they had to register that they are now in Beijing. This is where they are staying. Of course, that was like for the purposes of trekking and all that. But for now, even before the pandemic, that law was always there. You need to register at the local police station. Tell me what you think about that. If you move from Bari, wakwenda unogara kunonzi kuchinyi, let's say wakwenda unogara ku Borodale, you need to present yourself at the police station and say ndopanda kugara apa. If you are moving from Borodale wakwenda kumbare, you need to present yourself ndopanda kugara apa. And if you don't do that and they find out that you did not register when you arrived, you are made to pay a fine. Remember, in one of my videos, I spoke about a residence permit. When you also go to apply for your residence permit with your employer, they need that temporary accommodation registration certificate. They want to know where you are staying. You can't just say with your mouth, I'm staying at number 15 Matapi, what. No, they want to see that certificate from your local police station. So it's very important. So that's the setup. Tell me what you think. Does that happen where you are as well? But I'm told, I was also made to understand that in South Korea, that also happens. You need to present yourself. What about where you're staying? I mean, like outside Zimbabwe, of course. We all know Zimbabwe, we don't have to register ourselves. But outside Zimbabwe, what are the policies when somebody's coming to the city, when somebody's traveled into your district, and when somebody's visiting? Do you need to go? It's more like zvatinoita zvezvinotaura kwasabhuku zvezve. Yeah, I always call it kuti tikuinononyoresa kwasabhuku. I want to believe kuti kuma rural areas people go and tell sabhuku kuti andaitawo muenzi wangu achange ari pano. I don't know, but from court cases, traditional court cases that I watch, I hear people saying that ndakabva ndanoudza sabhuku kuti ndaitawo muenzi wangu. So I'm thinking like also kumasabhuku sometimes we probably have to say kuti taita vaenzi. So we do the same thing here. Okay. Right. What do you think about that? Those are the things that I've observed in China. If I remember, or if I think of other things, I'll definitely tell you. And the next one that I want to talk about is probably the Chinese holidays, the holidays that are celebrated in China, and their meanings and their origins. And also maybe just share with you some stories of maybe, have I ever been in trouble with the law in China? So I will definitely make videos sharing those things with you. Yeah, if there's anything else that you want me to address, please feel free to tell me that, okay, can you talk about this? Can you talk about this? Oh, yeah. And I think I need to make a video about going to the hospital in China. I would only talk about it. I cannot go to the hospitals and film because I don't have any reason to go to the hospital right now. But I will tell you about my experiences visiting hospitals in China. Stick around for that one. You would definitely need to watch it. Bye-bye.